start the stream while I'm still doing my hair, but I am already late in starting the stream. And can we just take a moment to appreciate how good my makeup looks right now? Like, I just look amazing. Like, lipstick can just, like, pull together. I don't even know. Like, I just look fancy because I have really nice lipstick. It just, like, works, you know? It's just one of those things. Then I tweaked a little in the concealer, but, like, you know, it wasn't much for, you know, look. I just threw something together, but I was feeling femme, so I'll do my makeup, and then I was like, dang, lipstick looks good. Which I guess is kind of a silly thing to be proud of, but, you know, I had to, like, tweak the colors, so, like I put, like, red underneath, and then the gloss over it to make it this color, and it, like, works really well, and I'm just proud of it, okay? Anyway, I don't usually stream about makeup. Not that I have anything opposed to it, per se. Like, makeup's pretty cool, and there's some very talented people in the community who do really cool makeup looks. Like, sometimes the cosplayers who do makeup looks inspired by characters and whatever, but, not usually my vibe, but, although, when I'm feeling femme, it is nice. I do look good. Okay, sorry. Enough preening. My name is Lee, as I said, and the stream, which we are in the middle of right now, as per, and no one's watching, but, you know, we're gonna go with, this one is, I'm changing it to, Daylight with Live. Oh, everyone's live. Okay. No, we're gonna put Pathfinder. Boom. Alright, we're gonna do that. And, hi! Ooh, there's a nice little Pathfinder book, too. I think that's a copy of the 2nd edition rulebook. So, basically, I'm learning a little bit about the streams as I go. And, I changed the stream to Daylight because it's still light outside, so figures that could be a thing. But, oh. Alright, apparently putting up, turning you into a category, makes it like gives you a little achievement thing. So that's pretty cool. Learn something new every day. So I will show you the tools of my stream. My notebook. I'm figuring if you're watching the stream, you probably watch all the time. I do have a few people who watch all the time, and then a bunch of people who watch when they can, and this is the Pathfinder Core Rulebook, 1st edition. The 2nd edition is kind of cool, but I work with the 1st edition simply because that's what I have the copy of the rulebook for. And I have done, actually, tomorrow night I might do Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Possibly tonight. I'd ask you to weigh in the chat, but I don't think anyone's... Say hi in the chat, though, if you're watching. I do always appreciate that. You don't have to, but I appreciate it if you do. Now, you know what? I'm going to do Pathfinder because I said I was doing Pathfinder. So what I do with this stream is, for those who don't know, and just, you know, as a general introduction, is I build characters. I build up playable characters all set in this one, and I use them as springboard for world building. I flesh them out. I give them names and personalities and familial relationships, and, sorry, I'm adjusting my dice camera right now. This is my dice cam, so I'm trying to get it to a point where, hang on, let me go to here just to see. Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll just tweak this a little bit around that. There we go. That should work. It's a pretty good view on the dice cam. Maybe we tweak this a little. There we go. Beautiful. We'll just, a little bit of liquid here. I'm not, okay. But yeah, I have my dice cam, I have my front cam. I need another camera. Ideally, I will find one eventually. That's how we could, you know what? Well, anyway, so, we do, I do tend to create random characters, either by, putting together, you know, rolling up stats for them. I roll stats, pick their classes. Sometimes I roll the multi-class, sometimes I'll do different things, and then I flesh them out and pick and choose, roll for hit points, and then I pick and choose who they're going to be and build them out, and kind of put personality and other things on as we build to kind of create a more complete character. And then when they're all built out, I move on and build other characters who are kind of vaguely related, and then they all just kind of pile up, and I don't know what to do with them yet. Ideally, at one point or another, I'm going to just put on like a battle royale, or have players create PCs and walk through the towns or something. But my stream schedule is kind of wonky. I tend to, originally when I started streaming, what I would do is I would stream after work. So it would be whenever I got off work. I am no longer working that job. I'm looking for another one. During the search, I'm streaming, basically every day. I'll announce the stream at the end of this stream. But yesterday, I couldn't remember if I announced I was going to stream at 7 or I was going to stream at 9. And then I found out a very good friend, a channel called Lord Gazumba, who is pretty cool. He does Dungeons and Dragons. He's going to do a lore-heavy show on the government of Greyhawk, the free city of Greyhawk, in Orth, which is a world which is commonly called Greyhawk because the free city is, and then the territories governed by it are basically the most known thing there. There's other stuff in the world, presumably, but the most lore is concentrated on the free city, so it's called the World of Greyhawk. Which is the Dungeons and Dragons setting that was introduced very early on, second edition, probably before that, and therefore created by Gary Gygax himself. So it is generally a staple of old school gamers. And what what I was going to say was, I, for a collaborative project, need to know more about the government of Greyhawk, so I was hoping to watch that stream. And I do like to raid into other streams, just because, I feel like it helps me build up street cred in the community, and I think it's, helpful to bring attention to other channels, be, useful. I know not a lot of people watch my streams, but I do tend to do that. So, in that case, I'm going to just do one thing very quickly. I do appreciate everyone who comes and watches the stream, anyone who comes and watches the video later. I really do appreciate that. And I do try to be a good, do tend to be interesting for you. At least I hope to be, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm gonna do that. Sorry. So what I'm gonna do is open the book up. It is getting dark. I know I called the stream daylight, but it actually is quite dark out. Well, no, the sun is setting. It's post solstice. Fun fact. So it's not the longest day of the year anymore. It's slightly shorter. Slightly being the operative word there. It's still 7 o'clock, and it is still pretty much light outside. It will probably be dark by 8 o'clock. I'm going to run the stream for an hour. That's what I tend to do. I used to just run the streams until I was tired when I came back from work. But if we're going to raid into Jay's stream, then I'm going to run the stream for an hour. I think that's a good stream length, too. At least for me. And I'm experimenting with longer ones. But for now, we're going to go for an hour. I'm going to build up this character, come hang out, vibe. If you want to say hi in the chat, or if you have any suggestions, I also am terrible with names. So if you, say, have a suggestion for what I should name my character, put it in the chat. I really like to hear from people. Yeah. Today is a... Okay, so... I was thinking that So, last stream I was working on Icton. And Icton worked for... a elf named Claude, who was basically the criminal mastermind of this city. He's a 14th level rogue, well, 12th level rogue with 2 levels of wizard, so 14 level altogether. So he had a lot of stuff going for him. Icton was entirely a rogue, and he was only level 10, and I say only, 10th level characters are extremely powerful. He had... Oh, sorry. An armor class of 17, 63 hit points, all sorts of powerful stuff, tons of skills and bunch of feats, and, you know, the usual sort of thing. But I was thinking I could roll up someone else in their crew. I thought that was a very clever thing to do. So what we're going to do, we're going to do that. We're going to go here, and, sorry, I'm just... Apologize. This is why I only keep the streams to an hour. Because no matter how much energy I have, there seems to be something about being on stream which saps my energy, which is a shame, because I do really like hanging out with all of you guys, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the charts I have. So I have a chart for classes. I have a chart for races or species. And then I have a chart for this one. Nope, not that one. Yes, which is a gender and sexuality chart that I usually roll on. If whoever this is going to... And then I usually roll for stats. I have my own method for that. And then I usually go from there. What was I going to do? Yeah, it's going to be one of those streams where not many people come, and that's okay. Of course, always welcome. Yeah, so... Sorry, I apologize. I tend to, what do I tend to do? I tend to get very distracted easily. But since I'm going to create another member of this criminal gang, I was thinking what I could do was just simply say a rogue. I am going to make one roll, though. What I'm going to do is actually move you forward a little bit. Okay. Yes. And I'm going to tweak some of these dice. Alright, I think I need more light. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to do one thing with the light. Ta-da! And that should work wonders. What was I gonna... Oh, yes. So, bop, 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 and bop. I'm taking out all of the dice from my dice tray, and just so I can kind of have room to roll dice in here, I would put them on my dice bag, but there's too many dice in my dice bag anyway, so I can't really put them here. So I'm going to take some of these out just to create some room. Okay, that should be sufficient. I usually try to keep my dice on the highest side up because that way they get used to being on high numbers. Just a personal preference thing. You know, the usual. What else? Yes, so my plan is, I was thinking a D12. Since Icton is a 10th level. I was gonna roll a d12 to figure out what level, and obviously these aren't player characters, but they can be the same mechanically. So that would represent a certain amount of experience and such. So we're gonna roll a d12 for level. I'm gonna roll that d12. I'll put it there so you can see it. That's the plan. And then after I roll the d12, I'm going to roll for race and gender and sexuality. I'm going to roll on those two charts, which I believe is a d100 and a d8, I'm pretty sure. And then we can build up the character based on that. We can do all sorts of things. And it's fun. Actually, out of curiosity, I'm going to put this other d12 here too. And just to see something, I want to know which one shows up better on camera. Yeah, both equally bad. I'm going to go with this one. I do need to switch out my set for a better set that shows up better here, but we're going to do this. Are we ready? We're rolling a d12. We're rolling a d12. Here it goes. 11. Ooh, okay. This guy's level 11. Or, guy can be used as gender. What we're going to do is, so we're going to do that. I'll put this here. Then we're going to check the other chart, which is this chart. Ta-da! Sorry, I'm going to scooch a little bit so you can still see me between the charts. So the chart I have up on the screen, as you can see, is humans, tieflings, halflings, gnomes. So I'm going to roll a d8, which, I only have one d8 in my dice tray. I don't know why. I'm going to use this d8. It doesn't show up great. But I'm going to roll this d8, and we're going to see what it gives us. And then they're going to be a member of Claude's criminal gang of ill intent. So, assuming we only have a monoclassed road, which is not necessarily a possibility. Depending on what we get for stats, we could multi-class and play around with that. 4 is a gnome. Okay. Gnomes can be gangsters too. I don't know if any of you watched the Blue Box RPG stream, but the gnome there, although not a rogue or actually a thief, he does have a reputation for after torturing some suspects, and ended up getting the nickname the Gnome Father, which is kind of fun. So yeah, this is our friend. Okay, so what I'm going to do is roll on the gender and sexuality chart. Most characters get rolled up on this, come out straight. Hi! Welcome! You are, of course, always hello. Welcome to our little stream today. I am rolling up another member of our criminal syndicate on Pathfinder. I generally do, character creation with a lot of random variables, and then just kind of keep going from there. So, yeah, I'm rolling up. So far, we have a level 11 gnome, and probably going to be a rogue, because I decided ahead of time he was going to be one of Claude's guys. They're a criminal syndicate in the city, the capital city in Hyreth, which is just to the south of Hitherland, which is where I set a lot of my campaigns. Actually, you played in a campaign that was set there, in Hitherland. Hyreth is to the south. I'm trying to build up that city a little bit, so I started with Ethel, and then I just kind of rolled up a rogue. I rolled it randomly on the chart for the class for Claude, and then when that was rolled up and it was a rogue, I was like, okay, well, we're going to create this, criminal mastermind, and then, so now I'm creating minions for said critical, yeah, it actually is kind of fun. So far it has 2 members, one of whom is the leader of whom is an elf, and then he's got 1 human minion, Icton. I'm rolling up a gnomish minion for him right now. I'm just about to roll on the gender and sexuality chart here. I'll put it up. that chart is just if the character is male or female, gay or straight or trans or what. I know it's a little skewed. I did skew it. Most of the characters do come out straight, but I did put that as a very low percent because just to spice it up. Although if I didn't have the chart, I probably wouldn't make any of them straight. So it's a compromise. But yeah. Okay, so we're rolling on this. It says a D12. I'm gonna use a D8 just because I have the D8 here already, and then the what's the word? Dice. The D percentiles. That's the word. Yeah. So I'm gonna roll up for this. Oh wow. That is a full-on 8. Okay, and then 5. So male, very straight. Okay, that works. Yeah. So why don't we go with male, straight? I don't know what a straight guy of a gnome has a name. I guess names are not necessarily indicative of sexuality, simply because they're given at birth. But so this guy would have his name. It wouldn't, there are certain names though that do have connotations. Although I don't know what kind of he could have any name. I don't know what his name is. I usually ask the chat, and then sometimes and then it'll grow to a point where, if no one answers, I'll just have to figure out one for now. But for now, he gets this. Then we'll do that. Okay, I'll put the chart away. So he's a guy, and I don't know if it's gonna come up that he's straight. We'll see how that plays out later. But as I've been gathering up more characters, they start to interweave with relationships. Sometimes I'll roll up a partner specifically. We do different things, but I think for now, yeah, he's gnome. He needs a name. We'll figure that out later. In the meantime, we need to roll stats. So stats in Pathfinder First Edition are the same as in Dungeons and Dragons, and strength, dexterity, constitution. Strength, dexterity, constitution. Then you get wisdom, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. I don't know. You don't have to put them in. Hoffy? That's not a bad name, actually. You know what? We'll go with it. Hoffy. Canesborough. That's a good name. I don't have last names for... Ah, yes. I'd heard of Jimmy Hoffa. That is a way to do it, I suppose. Claudia just kind of went with the vibes. Actually, it's probably Hofi, simply because of the ethnic, probably spells it with an E at the end. And it's probably pronounced Hofi, just because that's what's the word? The Hierarchian language that's the kind of name that kind of vibes with that. But that's a good one. Hofi and Canesborough. I didn't actually give last names for any others, but might have to go back and do that. Although, sometimes being known by just one name is a sign of, respect and power. Sometimes it's indicates a low birth. It depends on the world. But, oh, yes. I was saying about the stats. I'm writing them down. I always say that this is the most important world-building tool you have, because if you have a really good idea and then don't write it down, you have no idea. Taking notes by typing is also a thing, but I tend to go old school, at least for this, and do pen and paper. Of course, I probably will eventually end up typing up all of these. I mean, I already typed up all the charts that I've been using. Originally, those were all, handwritten, and then I just kind of typed them up. So, I might eventually type all of this up into something But for now, it's written down. But what I was saying about the stats is I don't know why they're you tend to say them strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Say them in that order because that's what the old character sheets always put them in. But honestly, I don't think it matters so much if you put them out of order, it sounds wrong. It's like, no, wait, that's wrong. You got to put them back in the. But honestly, I don't think it actually matters. It's just one of those things, you know. You usually put them in order. Just something I've noted: wisdom, charisma. Okay, so that's the stats. Now, I like to buff these guys up. So what I usually do is I do a D10 and a D8 and a D6. That's what I've been doing. I was doing a D12, a D8, and a C6, but that got some crazy high numbers. So I'm trying to scale it back a little bit. So the maximum would then be 24. 24. I can't do math. It generally doesn't get that high, but although some of the characters, and then some of them get really terrible stats, and you wonder why you even bothered rolling anything. I mean, Claude had a strength of 6, and and there was one of these druids had terrible in both wisdom and charisma, and under 10 in both. So it all depends. But so what I usually do is, because dexterity is the key stat for rogues, what I would do is I'm gonna roll for strength first and see what we get. That's part A. So here we go. Rolling. 3 plus, not bad. 8 plus 8 is so that's 14. Yeah, because 8 plus 6 is 14. So that's not bad. But I think he gets a minus. Gnomes get. Hang on. We'll have to remember this, but gnomes get -2 strength, so it's down to a 12. But a +2 charisma and a +2 constitution, so that's pretty cool. So it doesn't. That's down to a 12. So what I would usually do is I would roll dexterity and constitution, and then put the higher of the two in dexterity, because given that it's a super important roll for rogues, I like to give him an extra chance. If both of them are terrible, then he's just really bad at being a rogue, and he'll multi-class into something he's actually good at, and then it'll be a character element. We'll go from there. Sometimes that happens. That happened to this druid barbarian. But here we go. So let's roll. See what we got. Okay, that's a 13. That's not terrible. We can work with that. And here we go. Plus, there's a +2 for Constitution, so we gotta remember that. Let's see what we get. I'm putting 13 to the side. If we get a higher one, we'll put it in Dex. If not, so that's also a 14. Okay, well, clearly 14 Dexterity and then 16 Constitution, because it gets +2 for being gnomish. Level 11 does, I don't think he's gonna die. Because he's already level 11, so, and I don't know. But level 11 does give him 2, what's the word? Stat increases, so he'll probably sink those, and then, I mean, a +2 is nothing to sneeze at. So, we'll see. Hopefully he won't die. At 16 Constitution, he's probably not going to die particularly quickly. And probably probably an extra bonus to hit points from each favorite. Well, we'll see what else if he gets it really high in anything else, we'll see what he can do with that. The other two have been really smart, so I'm interested to see his intelligence. That's 12 intelligence. Not terrible, but kind of dumb compared to the other two. Like, Icton got 19 and Claude got 25, because That's why he multi-classed into wizard. But, so, maybe he's gonna be close to average the most. But we'll see. We'll see what the rest of them are. I think he'll do okay. Ooh, that's a 10. 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 wisdom. Okay, now that is interesting. That is very interesting. So he's sensible. He's not, like, smart, but he's sensible. That is we'll see how high his charisma is, because this could be some interesting... We could play with this, you know? Alright, we'll see what his charisma is, and then we'll go from there. Ready? Here we go. Oh, 12. Okay. So all around pretty average, but, like, the one who has all the common sense. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's intuitive and just kind of gets things. You know, nice enough that people get along with him, but not, you know, super charismatic, but he just gets stuff. This is his strength. And he's tough, too. He can take a hit. Interesting. Okay. So, Hofake. Okay. So we got him. Hi. Hi. Oh, welcome to the stream, by the way. I'm Lee. She, her vibes today, but he or they is fine either way. I'm generally pretty up in the air. Welcome to our stream, and we are doing a Pathfinder. Here, I'll show you the Pathfinder core rulebook. Oh, hi! I mean, you can pretend to be her account. I don't mind. It's absolutely fine. I'm very chill. Welcome to the stream. Right. So, the question is he multi-classed? And if so, what he's multi-classed? So, thinking, decent dexterity, maybe, actually, ooh, thought, oh, we have 4 viewers, that's actually pretty cool. I didn't realize we had so many people in. This is a lot more viewers than I usually have. But yeah. And of course my count is always off, so, or I've heard it's off before, depending on, so I don't try not to pay too much attention to it. But yeah, welcome. We're trying to figure out how to multi-class. So I'm thinking, right, so 2 classes use wisdom. One is ranger and one is cleric. And paladins, kind of. I mean, that's fair. I do appreciate you guys coming on a lot. You know, it's always much more fun to do character creation streams when we got people in the chat, and it's like, it's a way cooler to have everyone come. I really appreciate it. Yeah, no worries. I really appreciate you stopping by, and you're you know, always welcome in the streams. You know, I tend to do character creations for either Pathfinder, or sometimes I've been branching out and doing, what's the word? Rogue Trader art NPCs, which is characters, which is kind of fun. It's a space-based grimdark game. They actually invented the term grimdark, so I've been doing some of those. But I decided to head back to Pathfinder for a little bit. I've been building this up. Oh, right, but with classes, so druids also use wisdom, but they're in the city. I'm thinking ranger, because Pathfinder allows, if I remember correctly, now let me double check. Yeah, it allows urban as a favored terrain. So someone who had learned to stalk the streets, someone who had learned also ranged weapons. We could go down the, yeah, I don't think he has high enough dex for, wait, hang on. 2 weapon. Yeah, so I think bonus feats. Okay, we'll have to look at that because that might mean he has to bump up his dex, and well, he was gonna bump it up anyway, so that's fair. Yeah, so that's an urban specialization ranger who also will give him, I think, healing spells. Because at let's look at spell charts. Yeah, at 6th. Oh well, 4th level. With a high wisdom, at 4th level, you can start getting spells. So if he has 4 levels of ranger, my plan. Why don't I do that? Yeah, he has to have at least 4 levels of ranger so he can get spells. But I tend to, when creating multi-class characters, and I know this is a little silly, but I tend to do what I do is roll for the split. 3.5e is very close to Pathfinder. Actually, it references 3.5 edition in the intro to the Pathfinder book. It references specific edition numbers, but it does not specify editions of what. And I think that is specifically because they don't want to get in trouble with Wizards of the Coast for ripping them off. But they definitely do reference a specific edition numbers in the Pathfinder intro. I started playing Pathfinder 1st edition because I started playing right when 4th edition came out. And everyone was rage quitting D&D because they hated 4th edition. A lot of them went to Pathfinder. And so a lot of the people who were around me who were playing, who were like, hey, this is cool, you should totally do tabletop games, were all playing Pathfinder. And yeah, so I ended up learning Pathfinder. I saved up. Our local gaming shop had this thing where if you they'd run the games every week, or every other week, every other Tuesday, I remember this. And what you would do is you would have to pay $5 to get in the game. But instead, you didn't. What they would do is they would give you a $5 coupon for things at the store. So basically, you just had to promise to spend $5 at the store, and they sold dice and comics and snacks too. So, it was pretty basic thing. But I saved all my $5 slips up, and I bought a core rulebook, and that's this same one. I had a puppy, Addie. I still love her. She's still a good girl, but she did chew the binding of my book. So, yeah, I've heard that a lot, that Pathfinder was pretty much, Addie chewed it, and, it's because it came out right when 4th edition came out, and Wizards of the Coast were, at that time, very they were, trying to push 4th edition. They didn't want people to play, they didn't want people to play older editions. They wanted people to play the edition that was out, which was 4th edition, and so everyone was like, hey, and then Pathfinder was like, hey, we came up with this very similar thing, why don't we do this? So they put it together, and it's what I learned on. I started DMing, or GMing rather, 2000, yeah. I had actually never heard of Walden, well, yeah. In high school we did have a Dungeons and Dragons club, but all my friends were in anime club, and, it was a bunch of nerds hanging out, so I just went with that because my best friend was there, so of course I went, I went to the one she was in, or they were in, sorry. They didn't pronounce that. Yeah, I went to the one they were in, and, we hung out, and it was awesome. But, actually, Barnes & Nobles does have Pathfinder books. I remember because I went there recently, and, pre-pandemic, so I don't know how recently that is, but, and they had an entire section of tabletop games books, and, I asked if they had anything by the publisher Paizo, because I was trying to be covert, and they said, oh, yeah, actually, it's in the tabletop gaming section. Wait, we have a tabletop gaming section? So they bring me over, and, yeah, they had a bestiary, and I was like, okay, if I save up a little money, maybe I can buy the bestiary, but then pandemic hit, and I never did. But I do want a hard copy of the Pathfinder bestiary. That is one thing I really want. I don't know if you can get it for first edition, though. I think maybe that would be a thing. I certainly hope you can, because I'd like one. I have, you can find PDF copies, and I think I have PDF copies of everything for second edition because I got them on a Humble Bundle, but like official, legit PDF copies. But I really want to, I do like the Tattooed Dead Tree versions of things. Yeah. I still know a couple of, players that run games just by text. I actually got dragged into a game like that quite recently. Who was it? Sadie dragged me in. She said, oh, hey, well, this. Of course, then we kept missing the games, and then the campaign's kind of falling apart because we kept missing games. But it was a fun game for the few sessions we did play. Oh, right, I was going to build up this guy, Hofi. Right. As a ranger... Oh, but I was trying to explain... Of course, back when I was in high school, my friend and I did, like, chat-based role play. Anyway, we'd actually mail each other letters, but because we lived in the same town, it was only a few days each way. Or we'd like write them in class and then switch them at during the class switch periods. Dang, I'd forgotten about that. Okay, focus. So level 11. Which means I'm gonna say 4 levels of ranger. And I'm going to say 1d6 levels of rogue. That's how we're going to play this. 1d6 levels of rogue. And then the rest of the levels are ranger. I mean... Okay. Alright, 1d6. Ready? Gonna roll it? Yeah, I do tend to get easily distracted, and I love hearing stories about how people get into tabletop RPGs. 3. Okay, so 3 levels of rogue, and since he started out as a rogue, yeah, have a good dinner. Thanks for stopping by, actually. I really appreciate it. I do, I do really appreciate it. 3. So 3 levels, which 11, which is 8 levels of ranger. Okay. We got some interesting things going. So at 3, oh, wait, but that means math time. Because, when you're creating a high-level character, especially for a system like Pathfinder, what order you put things in matters, for certain cases, because, certain feats you don't get to get unless you have a certain base attack bonus, which you only get if you have, or whether you put the rogue levels first or the wizard level first, depends on what's your favorite class. Like, I'm going to say you started with rogue, which actually makes sense, because then, I think you need a 15 to take any of the ranger feats. So, in dexterity, and very, very, very customizable. So let me just check something. So feats, that does mean a lot of bonus feats. I might take more than one page for this guy. Okay. Classes, feats, don't fail me out. Okay, here we go. List of feats. So, combat style. At second level, ranger will select 1 or 2 combat styles. Second, ranger level. Okay, 1982 was a long time ago. I was born in 1994, so that was more than 10 years before I was born. Okay, okay, so, archery, far shot, point blank shot. Okay, let's look at, point blank. Oh, far shot is oh no, there are no prerequisites for the archery style, except improved precise shot. But, and then shot on the run. Ooh, that's a cool one. That sounds really cool. But, oh, and then you need mobility for that one, which means you already have to have dodge, which is, you Oh, well, that's what you get. Let's see. Crushing. Hang on. What am I thinking? Oh, yes. So, deadly. Dodge is oh, it's only DC 13. Okay, that's fine then. No worries. Okay. So, we got this. Wind stance, and that's not even required for... Yeah, that's the other thing about Pathfinder, is the feat trees. So in I don't think there is a single feat in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition that requires another feat as a prerequisite. Like, I don't even think Great Weapon Master, I don't think Weapon Masters is a prerequisite for Great Weapon Master, which I think is kind of weird. Like, I don't think there's a single... I mean, I could be wrong on that. I don't generally pay too much attention to those because there's a few I like, and then I just kind of... when I play 5th edition, which I actually do surprisingly often... yeah, actually, that does mathematically make sense. Middle child's a very respectable thing. I wouldn't know, but, you know. Yeah, but, also feats are technically optional, which I think is really stupid, and you have to give your ASIs if you want feats, which is just, like, no. You do get better ASIs in 5th edition. You get a +2 rather than a +1, so your bonus automatically goes up, which it doesn't always in Pathfinder, but you don't get the feats and the ASIs. You only get the ASIs. And exactly. I mean, I do respect even people who only played 4th. I at least have a modicum of respect for them. Yeah. Like, I love the game. The roleplay aspect, I mean, I do appreciate all the mechanical stuff, and it's fascinating to learn, and the lore. Oh, the lore. But, my main thing on this is roleplay. That's my big thing. I do run an occasional game in person, but I do kind of want to get more minis. I don't usually run battle mats. My minis are generally like little dollar toy stores that I've glued to pennies so that they don't fall over. But I love running the game with, you know, what you got. And although I did end up getting back in post, during the lockdown in the pandemic, actually, well, I mean, I am already got so many dice right now. Like, I don't even have, I can't even fit all my dice into my dice bag. And I have 2 dice bags, and then actually 3 dice bags. And I can't fit all my dice into the dice bags, so I don't know what to do with any more dice. But I still want more. Always. I will end up with more someday. But, oh, right. What was I going to say? Stealthy. Yeah. Painting and... Oh, yeah. I'm trying to focus. Oh, it's 7:55, and I kind of wanted to raid, yeah, once you have a career and you can actually have a place to store stuff too, which is a little bit of a problem for me right now. But yeah, absolutely. Just, this is getting, oh, right. What was I gonna, right, so I think, what if I could do a weapons finesse as a first feat, and, oh, Luox Khan was amazing. If you get a chance, yeah. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I just got him a pack of dice. I mean, it had like a bar of soap with dice in it, because that was, it seemed that, and a little, the little ally flag, because I made those for everyone. All of the players on the stream anyway. But, what was I gonna say? Right. So, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna figure out, okay, favorite enemies would obviously be... You know what? Favorite enemies, I would say, would be Vermin. I think that that would be a good favorite enemy for an urban. Either that or humans, but I'm thinking vermin. That's probably what he would have learned on when he was, you know, first. So, and favorite enemy is vermin. Let's see. Feats. I still think he's probably going to put all his... Well, if he's going to put the Dex into range anyway, I'm going to make him a... The question is whether he's a ranged ranger or a 2-weapon ranger. Because 2-weapon rangers are kind of fun. That's what I did with Nola. Although Nola had a high strength and lower dex, so it kind of made sense for her. But she was the first time I really dug into ranger... rangers. But what was I going to say? Oh, yes, ability scoring. Right, so I was going to say classes. You know what? We're going to go ranged. We're going to go all in on ranged. So at 11th level, would have 2 ASIs. At 8th, yeah. And at 12th, yep. So 2 ASIs. So he's going to bump up his dexterity by 2. And then he's going to be point blank, okay, feats. Ranged weapons. All right, I am thinking, EverQuest, oh, an online game, yeah, no, I definitely understand the feeling of getting, like, kind of sucked into online games, so probably gonna get some feats. How many feats? Favorite terrain is urban. I don't know how many. Okay, so at 5th level, so okay, as 8 level ranger may select an additional favorite enemy. I'm gonna say humans. Human is, and then every 5 levels thereafter. So as an 8th level, he only gets 1. But I'm gonna say humans are his favorite enemy, because he probably would have learned how to, you know, as a syndicate member in a mostly human city, he probably would have developed that. So there's that. Favorite terrain. Or well, okay. At 3rd level, at 8th level, second favorite terrain. In addition, oh wow. So I'm gonna say probably, plain. Probably underground. Would be a second favorite terrain. Okay. It's 8 o'clock. I was gonna, my plan on all of this was to go to, oh, sorry, I didn't know you'd asked for a link, or I would have put one in. I try not to post the links too often because I stream pretty much every night. So, like, I'm gonna stream at 9 o'clock tomorrow, and, I think, tomorrow's Thursday. I'm trying to remember, I just want to make sure I don't stream over anyone. No, absolutely, I love having people in the chat, you know, it's great. I was gonna, no, but I just went back to the Blue Box Tavern. I was going to see if Jay was live. Hide, okay. Wait, that's... because I had said I was going to pop into Jay's stream. So what we're going to do is... I'm going to raid into Jay... Yeah, okay, so what we're going to do... as I I think that's the right way for... Yes, okay. Alright, let me just type in the... I think that should work. Okay. Alright, so, I'm gonna set up the raid. Come with me. Here we go. Everyone ready? Let's do it.